Well, hello. Today I was scrolling on Programming for Beginners Facebook page, and I found several questions from the people in the group. I'm gonna try go deep in several of them and answer them. One is from Omin Owen and Yasif Ali. We have here one from Daniel Mejia from Guatemala. We have another one from, I can't tell this name. I am very sorry. I don't know how to tell it. Um, Another one from Daniel Mejia, and this one from, I think I answered one from this guy. I also don't know how to pronounce that name. I'm really sorry. So we start with Omin Owen. Hey guys, I just started learning HTML. I just want to ask this question. How will one earn money through programming? I This was very funny for me because as a software engineer working in the software development area from around 12 years, it sounds a little crazy. People from outside of the business may think, oh, that's a guy in a computer. It's getting paid for being sitting down. And yeah, most of the money that pays you when you work in programming is because you are helping organizations to solve problems using code like databases, ordering information, handling processes, and that kind of stuff. I know when you're starting with languages, it's gonna be difficult to see it right away, but yeah, you can live from it. So next question, we have Wasif Ali. I loved this question because this is a C question, and I like a lot to work on C. He says, "Can anyone tell me what's wrong with it? It's a software that it's a function that's called num. The function returns doesn't return anything. Sorry, it's a void function, but it kind of asks for numbers, so it tries to get it on an accumulator and get the sum. So the same variable he is using for getting the every single value, that same variable he is using it for getting out of the for controlling the loop. So yeah, I came here. I came here to a compiler in C, and I just wrote what you wrote. Yeah, and I got the situation. So if I put in something like 1, 2, and 3, and then minus 999, sorry, um, it will say the result is minus 993. Yeah, that's not correct. It should show something like 6, right? 3, 2, 1, 6. Um, the main thing here that I would do for solving this issue is to take this from here and put here. The first time you get in the loop, oh, of course, and you will have to set up n to 0 for starting. So the first time you get in the loop, the first iteration, you will be summing just 0 plus 0 and saving on 0, so it's not a problem. Then you have your first number, and when you get here, if the number is not 90, minus 999, you will get in again and get the sum, and so on and so on. And if in any moment one person gets in the limit number, it will just end the loop and show the result. We can test it. It was a pretty close try from you. Um, minus, it would say 6.0. Yeah, that's that's the thing. You almost had it. It was missing just a little bit. So we have here a question from Daniel Mejia. He says, "Hi people, I'm from Guatemala. To make it short, but not too short, I decided to create a basic video game so I started learning basics. I know HTML and CSS, but just the basics, as I said. When I jumped to JavaScript, I noticed there is a lot of things to learn and it has many applications. But I guess most of the tutorials I have seen are strictly dedicated to web development, which is cool, but I don't want to learn that now. My question is, guys, as a beginner and who doesn't really know the difference between equals equals and equals 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 or between let and bar, is there a specific path you must follow in order to learn JavaScript? What would you recommend for a guy who just want to create a Pac-Man game, a Tetris game, a ping pong game, or even a basic calculator? Okay. You have two very good questions there about the equals equals and equals 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 and the let and bar. Yes, I can just answer that. When you have two equals, it's because you are comparing two values. For example, if you compare an integer 2 against a string 2 in several languages, it can be equal. Like if you have something like 2 integer and 2 as a string, that could be true. But if you do the identical verification, it won't. So it does not check the value. It will check uh, the exact value and type of value. So that's for it. And between let and bar, options for declaring variables in JavaScript. Yeah, and for the let and bar declarations options in JavaScript, you have so much information on Google or on internet. Sorry, I have found an article very good on Stack Overflow. I'm going to just leave it here so you can check it. Mostly it has to do with scopes and how the variable is handled after you declare it with var or with let. For example, after you declare a variable using var, um, you can redeclare it again after that. But if you use let, you cannot do it in the same scope. So there are some things like that. I am just going to point out the best place to look for it. Yes. Talking about the how will be the recommendations for making games, I'll just recommend you start to understand algorithms first, because you can, as you said, you can find several places where to do games and that kind of stuff. If you don't know how the logic of algorithm work, it's gonna be hard for you. Yeah. Next question. I'm sorry, as I said, I am not really sure how this is pronounced, but can anyone tell me which programming language is best to make software? I'm a engineer. This is the kind of questions that make can make start a war. Um, the quick answer for this is there's not a best language for making software. You can go with one or another. But yeah, it basically it's related to the needs you have in the moment. Um, as a software programmer, normally you will understand and use several languages, and after you get the first one or two how they work, it is pretty easy. It is not a big thing. Next question, Daniel Mejia again. He says, quick questions. quick question, guys. If I want to make an input to read only ints and floats, how do I do it? For example, age equals input, enter your name, your age here, print, okay, that would print a value. How can I do for input to only recognize the numerical value? I tried but that's a fair question. Let me go to PyCharm in this case. So as I get it, you are doing something like, sorry, you're doing something like this, where you put it here. Oh, I have an error there. Here, what you say something like your age years old. Okay, your age. Okay, so plus plus. Oh, oh. I suppose you are not having troubles with this, and you just have the troubles. This should run very good. So if I run it, it will ask for my age. So I will say 20. It's not 20. It will say your age is 20 years old. Okay, but I suppose the problem you're having is when you try to use this value for calculating things like, I don't know, add 3 years or delete multiply by 2 or by 3 or something. Okay, that's it, because that is because the input variable, it will return in a string. So you kind of got it really close. You'll have to take that value that you gathered, and when you're going to be calculating things, you just have to use the int casting there. So for example, you can go here and say times 2 equals int age times 2. Oh, sorry. Times 2. So times 2, it's gonna be having the value of the age casting on an integer and multiply by 2. And if you want to show this variable in a string, you're gonna be having to do something like this. You're gonna be having to do a string and put in times 2. Your age times 2 is times 2 casted on a string years old. And that's the way you have to do it, because you have here a string that's gathered in an age. You have to cast the age to an integer, and if you want to use the age in inside a string or concatenate it to a string, you'll have to take it again to a string. So if you run it, it will be enter your age here 10. It would say something like your age is 10 years old, your age times 2 is 20 years old. And yeah, we have this other one. It says, hi there, I hope you all are safe. I want to rotate the array by key step. In this case, k equals 1. And don't know why the input like this. I wanted 3, 2, 1. Any advice? Okay. There is something there. You are not, in that case. You are not talking about shifting the key in a step. because you're talking on reversing the array. Okay, because if you are going to step it, the result is not going to be 3 2 1. The result is going to be 2 3 1, because if you make a step and this is the first one, you go from here to here to here. So I made a solution thinking this is the result you have to have. I don't know if you're the thing was you did this wrong, but your explanation was good, or I don't know. So just let me know if this worked for you, and if it doesn't, um, I can help you out. There's no problem. So the situation is this is pretty basic. You have an array, and you'll have a resulting array that's gonna be the same length of the original one. You will have to use two variables. One is called n and another one j for the same length of the original array, and you will use a for loop just for iterating over the results. But with this counter, you're gonna be going from 0 to 2. It's gonna be 0 1 2, and with j you're gonna be going from 2 to 0. So when you say result in the position 0 equals array in the position 2, so 30 is the first value, then 20, and then 10. So if you run it, it's pretty much this thing. um, I think that's the solution you're looking for with this result sets you gave. Maybe the result sets are wrong, so please check it. If the problem is the result set, if the thing is this result set is wrong, yeah, we can check it the other way. But always, this is a comment for everyone. When you're solving a problem and you are stuck with an issue, you have to give or understand more than one result set. You have to give something like, for example, if I have 1 2 3, I would like to see 3 2 1. Or if I have, sorry, ABC, I'll see CBA or something. You have to use more than one result sets, because there are edge cases that you would like to check. So yeah, that's all for today. Thank you for getting to this point of the video. If you liked it, I invite you to go to the YouTube channel. I'm gonna leave you with here. Yeah, bye.